Welcome. In this playthrough of Marvel Champions, a card game, we have Venom teaming up with Spider-Man to take on the final scenario of the Rise of the Red Skull campaign against an expert Red Skull. So for our villain setup, we are using Red Skull with the Hydra Assault and Hydra Patrol. For setup, put the Red House into play, shuffle every other side scheme into the side scheme deck, and set it next to the encounter deck, and set the Sleeper aside out of play. So you've got the Sleeper set aside to come in at a later moment. Red House, the Red Skull cannot take damage. As an interrupt, when a character thwarts this side scheme, they may use their attack instead of their thwart. Starts with 6 threat on it. We have the rest of the side schemes off to the side. Then on the other side here, got a threshold of 8 per player. Force response, after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, reveal the top card of the side scheme deck and put it into play. And then for the Red Skull, starts with a thwart of 3, attack of 1. With the ability where he gets +1 attack for each side scheme in play, and when revealed, deal each player an encounter card and 16 health per player. And along for our setup with the campaign, we're going to place X threat counters on the main scheme, where X is the number of delay counters recorded in the campaign log, which is 4. But since we're playing on expert mode, it's going to be 4 per player. So this is starting with 8 threat on it. And for heroes, haven't changed anything from the last time. So Spider-Man with Justice, Venom with Aggression. Spider-Man comes in, thwart 1, attack for 2, 3 health. Spider Sense is an interrupt when the villain initiates attack against you, draw a card. Hand size of 5, health of 10. We ended the last game with 9. Alter Ego, recovery of 3. Scientist as a resource, generate a mental resource once per round and a hand size of 6. As additional cards, we have Shang-Chi and White Tiger in his deck, along with his tactical scanner and his thwart upgrade. And when that comes in, we're getting +2 health. Our hero gets +1 thwart, and after we defeat a side scheme, exhausts his card to draw a card. So going up to 11. And then for his Justice cards, 2 Power of Justice, Counterintelligence, Under Surveillance, Spycraft, Sense of Justice, 2 Skilled Investigators, 3 For Justice, 3 Clear the Area, a Quake, Agent Coulson, Wraith, Quasar, Wiccan, and Arrows. And our basic cards, we have our 3 resources, Quinn Carrier, Nick Fury, Sidearm, and some Endurance. And for Venom, thwart 1, attack of 2, and a defense of 2. Can control an additional upgrade with the restricted keyword. Symbiotic Bond as a resource, take a damage to generate a wild resource. Hand size of 5, hit points of 12. We ended the last game with 11 health. Alter Ego, recovery of 4. We still get the additional upgrade there. Armed and ready for setup. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a weapon upgrade, then add that card to your hand. Hand size of 6. And then his cards, he's got Elektra and Moon Knight are some additional allies he's got, along with his laser cannon that we'll probably be using this game. And +1 hit point when he starts off, so up to 12. Gets +1 attack, and after we defeat a minion, exhausts it to draw a card. And then our aggression cards, 2 Power of Aggression, Energy Spear, Martial Prowess, 3 Relentless Assaults, 3 Clobbers, 3 Piercing Strikes, Tigra, Throg, Bug, Marvel Boy, Spider-Girl, and Valkyrie. And then for our basic cards, we have our 3 resources, a Helicarrier, Sidearm, and an Endurance. All right, finishing our setup here, shuffling our encounter deck. Then each of our heroes is going to get an encounter card because that's what Red Skull does. Then we'll go ahead and shuffle our obligations in. Try to get that quickly shuffled. Then we've got all the side schemes up here. So shuffle those. Then for our heroes, 6 cards each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, Clobber, behind enemy lines, Spider-Girl, Throg, and another behind enemy lines, and a Relentless Assault. We'll keep the 2 allies. Drawing into Bug, Piercing Strike, Elektra, and Strength. And then we're going to discard until we find a weapon upgrade. Found our pistol. Then Peter Parker. Give him a shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Spider Sense, Endurance, a Backflip, Clear the Area, Skilled Investigator, and For Justice. I think we're going to keep those 3. Webbed Up, Nick Fury, and Quasar. All right. Flip over. Going to bring in Spider-Girl. After you play from her hand, stun and confuse a minion. No minions in play. Thwart 1, attack of 2 and 2 health. Bring in Elektra. Thwart 1, attack of 3, 3 health. After you play her from your hand, we can spend a physical resource to deal 3 damage to an enemy. Bring in Bug. Thwart 1, attack of 1, 2 health. After your hero makes a basic attack, heal a damage from Bug. Then we're going to take a damage to bring in her pistol. So as a hero interrupt, when you use one of Venom's basic powers, exhaust his pistol, Venom gets +1 to that power for this use. All right, Elektra is going to thwart. She can use her attack to take 3 off of the red house. Spider-Girl is going to thwart using the attack to take 2 off. Bug is going to thwart using his thwart to, let's see, do we want that happening just yet? He's going to thwart on this one. And take a damage. Venom is going to thwart for 2. All right, we're going to use his free resource to help bring in Nick Fury with these 3. Thwart 2, attack for 2, 3 health, and use his ability to draw 3 cards when he comes into play. Web Kick, Enhanced Spider Sense, and a Web Shooter. Then we're going to flip over. Bring in Skilled Investigator, play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Hero response after a side scheme is defeated. Exhausts this to draw a card. Spider-Man is going to thwart for 2 on the red house, defeating that side scheme. That's going to let us draw a card, and so is that. So drawing into energy and arrows. We're going to play For Justice to remove 3 threat from a scheme. And bring in a Web Shooter. It gets 3 counters. It's a hero resource. Exhaust it, remove a counter from it to generate a wild resource. Then we're going to thwart for 2. And end our turn. So we're going to keep both of these for Spider-Man. Getting Wraith, Skilled Investigator, and For Justice. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Piercing Strike, Moon Knight, Multi-Gun, Project Rebirth, and a Power of Aggression. So we're going to get 2 threat. After resolving this step, get a side scheme, Hydra Patrol. When defeated, each player searches encounter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion, puts it into play, engage with them, then shuffle the encounter deck. It's got a crisis icon and 4 threat. Then Venom is getting attacked, and Spider-Girl is going to defend. So it's a base 1, 2, 3, 4. And attacking Spider-Man, draws a card with his ability. Nick is going to defend for base 2, 3, 4. Then encounter cards. All right, so Red Skull has a laser rifle. Attached to the villain, force interrupt. When he attacks, the attack gains range, so retaliate's not going to be an issue for him. Hero action, spend an energy and physical resource to discard it, +1 attack. And when revealed, exhaust a character you control for each side scheme in play. So we're going to exhaust bug. So we have one side scheme in play. Then a Hydrojet Trooper with quick strikes, going to come down and attack is for 2, scheme of 0, 3 health, down to 9. And then Hydra Flame Soldier, scheme of 1, attack of 1, 4 health. After he makes an undefended attack against you, discard a support you control and pass first player. All right, we're going to play Skilled Investigator over here on Venom, so he's got one of those cards too. We're going to play for Justice, removing 4 threat from a scheme. When defeated, we're going to go searching for some Hydra minions, and they're being put into play. So when revealed stuff is not going to trigger. So we want some wimpy dudes. Hydra Regular, scheme of 1, attack of 2. Inside is when revealed, 2 health. And he's got a brother in here somewhere to bring out on that side. Oops. See if we can do a better job shuffling. All right, side scheme was taken care of. So our hero response, draw a card into Endurance. Same thing over here. Into Clear the Area. And we also have this to draw a card with, into another Clear the Area. So we're going to bring in arrows. If you're playing from your hand, confuse a minion for each resource you use to pay, or mental resource used to pay for him, which is going to be 2. So we'll confuse both of those. Then thwart for 2. Then attack for 2. Then we're going to spend an energy and, well, physical and energy resource to discard hero action, discard the laser rifle. And we're going to go ahead and flip over. Venom. Going to bring in a multi-gun. It's a hero action. Exhaust it. Choose one of the following. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Choose a player. Deal a damage to each minion engaged with that player, or remove 2 threat from a scheme. We're going to use it to deal 2 damage to an enemy. To take him out. Things that refer to you as our identity and any upgrade supports on that. So after you defeat a minion, exhaust this card to draw a card. Run and gun. We're going to use that to bring in Project Rebirth 2.0 as an alter ego action. Exhaust this, choose either draw a card or heal 3 damage from Flash Thompson. We're going to play Moon Knight, thwart a 2, attack of 2, 3 health. After you play him from your hand, spend a wild resource to draw 2 cards. We're going to take a damage to create that wild resource. Relentless Assault and a Relentless Assault. That's not going to help us at all. Let's see. So we're attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go ahead and take care of this guy. Electro is going to swing for 3. And Moon Knight will attack for 2. First damage on Red Skull. And our turn. Ready all of our cards. We're going to pitch these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Power of Aggression, Locked and Loaded, a Sidearm, Savage Attack, and a Clobber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Coulson, Counterintelligence, Web Shooter, Under Surveillance for Justice, and a Spider Tracer. And get 2 threat. Our next side scheme, and remembering side schemes go in a different spot. All right, reinforcements. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme discards a non-elite minion. We're getting an extra encounter card this turn and 4 threat. So scheming over here for base 3, 4, 5. Attacking over here. Electra's going to defend. Actually, Eros is going to defend for 1. Give the villain a tough status card and another boost. Well, enough to take out Eros. And tough. Then a counter card 1 and extra. All right, Exosuit. Attach to the villain. Hero action. Spend 1 of each resource to discard it. +1 scheme, +1 attack. Then place 4 thread on each side scheme. If there are none, we'd go find one, but we definitely have one. And the villain schemes. That's not cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And pass first player. So that goes to 16. We've got 14 on it. All right, we're going to play Locked and Loaded. Search your deck for weapon upgrade and add it to our hand and shuffle our deck. I want to go find our other pistol, which was pretty much on the bottom. We're going to take a damage to create a resource. Physical plus a wild plus another wild. Use those 2 wilds to create the mental and energy. Get rid of the exosuit. We're going to bring in our other pistol. Then we're going to thwart for 3. Electra is going to thwart for 1. Moon Knight is going to thwart for 2. Then Multi-Gun is going to remove 2 threat. And over here, use a resource to help pay for under surveillance. Attach to the main scheme. Increase the target threat value of the scheme by 4, so now it goes to 20. Flip over. Going to use our tactical scanner as a hero action. Discard this, remove it from the campaign log to draw 5 cards. So Quake, Spycraft, Power of Justice, Wiccan, and White Tiger. Going to use our Web Shooter as a mental resource to pay for justice. Along with the Spycraft, remove 4 threat from the scheme. So there's no non-elite minions to get rid of, but we can use this to draw a card into a sidearm. Use that to draw a card into a Quinn Carrier. Use this to draw into a card for Venom into a Piercing Strike. Then we're going to bring in a Quinn Carrier. Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. Resource exhausted to generate a wild resource. Then we'll go ahead and use that to bring in Agent Coulson. To enter his place, search your deck and discard pile for a preparation card. Add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. We're not going through our deck. We're just going to bring back our Spycraft. And thwart for 2. And we're going to bring in White Tiger, spending a mental resource. So after you play her from your hand, spend a mental resource to remove 3 threat from a scheme. Thwart a 3, attack a 1, and 3 health on her. So that's going to remove 3. And then thwarting for 3. Then we're going to bring in Spycraft. Play only if you control a spy character, which Coulson is. Reveal an encounter card, discard it, cancel the effects of that card, and discard it, then reveal another card from the encounter deck. And Spider-Man will thwart for 2. And end your turn. And over here, we're going to keep the sidearm. So drawing into a Savage Attack, Run and Gun, martial prowess, and some energy. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sense of justice, web kick, genius, webbed up, and another web kick. So 2 threats. Prison camps. When defeated, the player defeated the scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an ally, puts it into play, and shuffles their deck. 6 threat. Then attacking over here, Moon Knight's going to defend. See, if you're in hero form, the villain attacks you after this activation. Do not deal any boost cards for that attack. So attacking again with no boost, so we're just going to take 2 damage. Attack over here, we draw a card into strength. Then we'll defend. So base 2 coming our way, 3 damage, and we're fine. So counter cards. Hydra Exo Soldier, Schema 2, attack for 2, 5 health and toughness. And Twisted Reality, Insight 1 and Attached Suicide Scheme. Force Response, when attached side schemes defeated, deal the first player an encounter card. And pass that along. All right, Spider-Man's turn, requesting an action from Venom, Multigun, to remove 2 threat from a scheme. Then White Tiger will thwart for 3. And Coulson will thwart for 2. Completing this. So the player who defeated the scheme over here, actually, searches their deck and discard pile for an ally, puts it into play, and shuffles their deck. I think I want Nick. After he enters play, so put in play, enters play, works the same. Going to use his ability to draw 3 cards. Black Cat, Power of Justice, and Aunt May. When the scheme's defeated, deal the first player an encounter card. We're in hero form. Draw a card. Shang-Chi. Same thing over here. Drawing into Marvel Boy. But you did not defeat that, so that doesn't work. Let's see. Nick's going to attack to get rid of Tough. All right, we're going to use the Web Shooter along with the Quinn Carrier and a Web Kick to do another Web Kick to deal 8 damage. To get rid of the Soldier. Then we're going to do Webbed Up, hero form only, attached to an enemy, max 1 per enemy. When would attack, discard Webbed Up instead, then stun that enemy. Bring in Sense of Justice. As a resource, exhaust it to generate a mental resource for a thwart event. And ending our turn, holding 3 cards, because I don't want to use any of them. All right, over here, I'm going to bring in Marvel Boy. 0 thwart, attack for 2, 2 health. When he attacks, spend a physical resource. This attack gains piercing and ranged. So he's going to attack. Physical resource for piercing and ranged. Down to 28. Then we're going to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Down to 23, which is going to heal Bug. Bug will thwart for 1. And I'm going to bring in a sidearm to put on Bug. gets +1 attack and gains the range trait. Then I'm going to flip and heal for 3, up to 10. Ending her turn. Over here, we're going to draw 2 cards, or 1 more. We'll get an encounter card and shuffle. 1 more card coming. And over here, well, got her 4 cards. 5th is Wraith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Spider Sense, Clobber, Tigra, Valkyrie, Tendrils, and an Energy Spear. And an encounter card. All right. So 2 threats. Next, Censor of the Past. When defeated, each player chooses up 3 cards in their discard pile, shuffles them into their deck. 6 threat. Attacking over here, drawing into a web kick. Nick defends. Well, actually, never mind. That's not happening. Goes to attack, loses webbed up, gets stunned. Then scheming here for base 3, 4, 5. Deal out some encounter cards. Discard an upgrade or support you control. It's going to be a skilled investigator. Then the villain attacks you, loses stunned, and place 2 threat on each scheme in play. So that's up to 8, and that's up to 11. Then this card gains Surge. Red Skull's Luger. Attached to him, Red Skull gains the Piercing and Range trait. Hero action, spend 1 of each resource. +1 scheme, +1 attack. And Surge into a Hydra Soldier. Scheme of 1, attack for 2, 4 health. Guard, and when defeated, we're getting an encounter card. All right, Rebirth up to 13 because we're 12 plus our 1. And flipping over. We really need his scheming abilities, but I need him attacking so Bug stays around. Yep, can't believe I'm doing this. Attacking for 2. Attacking for 2 more. We get an encounter card. We're going to thwart for 1, 2, 3. Then remove 2 threat from a scheme. That was silly. I'm going to take that 2 damage back. Going to bring in Valkyrie. That would have killed that minion off, so that still equals the same. Then attack for 2 up on Skull, down to 21. Attack for 2 down to 19. Take a damage for a resource to bring in Spider Sense. So we're got his ability. When a villain initiates attack against you, we get to draw a card. Then over here, White Tiger thwarts for 3. Spider-Man thwarts for 2. Each player chooses up to 3 cards in their discard pile, shuffles them into their deck. So we'll shuffle those 2 back in. Oh, and I guess Nick Fury would have been over there too. And over here, Bug, Sidearm, and an Energy Spear. Get those shuffled back in and hope they can come up soon. Black Cat's going to come into play. Thwart a 1, attack a 1/2 health. After your player discard the top 2 cards of your deck, add each card with a printed mental resource discarded this way in our hand. So we get to Eros. Attacking for 1, down to 18. Bring in Shang-Chi, thwart a 2, attack of 2, 3 health. After you're playing from our hand, we can spend an energy resource that's done an enemy. We're not going to. Oh, I finished a scheme. I should have drawn a card. Nick Fury. We're bringing him in to thwart for 2. Then use the Quinn Carrier to bring in Aunt May. Exhaust her to heal 4 damage from Peter Parker. And end our turn. Soon I'll have to go on the offensive. Right now I'm just trying to keep that stuff at bay. All right, we're going to keep both those cards. Spider Sense, Spider Tracer, and a Web Kick. Relentless Assault ×2, Savage Attack, Piercing Strike, and Electra. So 2 threat. We're up to 9. Attacked over here, we draw a card, locked and loaded. Oh. Before that, Mass Chaos. When revealed, each player discards the top 5 cards of their deck. I guess that would have been on top then. Places 1 threat here for each different type. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 3 different types there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3 different types. Then we got attacked. Draw a card. And I'm just going to take it. So it's a base 1, 2, 3. Draw from the right deck. Give the villain a tough status card and another boost. So 6 damage coming our way. Down to 6. Then attack over here and draw a card. Clear the area. Coulson's going to defend. And Coulson goes away. And counter cards. All right, attach the villain. Now has Retaliate. Here are actions, spend an energy and mental to get rid of it. Exhaust a character you control for each side scheme in play. That's going to be Valkyrie. And Surge and reveal the top card of the encounter deck. So Surge and the next one. All right, Force Interrupt. When he activates, give him an additional boost card for each side scheme in play, then discard this card. And give to Flash. We may flip to Alter Ego. We will. Then we're going to put 1 set-aside copy of the Enraged Symbiote into play, engage with the first player. If you cannot gain Surge. So he got a friend, and then we pass the first player token. All right, we're going to use the Quinn Carrier as a resource to bring in Nick Fury and draw 3 cards. Power of Justice, Sidearm, and For Justice. We're going to use For Justice to remove 4 threat from the scheme. And thwart for 2. Finish that off. Allows us to draw a card. Counterintelligence. And over here, Spider Girl. I'm going to put a sidearm on Black Cat. +1 attack and range, so we don't care about his retaliate. So attacking to get rid of tough. Thwart for 2. Thwart for 2. All right. Project Rebirth to heal for 3, up to 9. Let's see, what do we got? 1 of each, and I'm going to flip over multi-gun for 2. We defeated a minion, draw a card. We're going to take a damage to create a mental resource, pitch an energy to get rid of the energy shield. Bring in Electra, pitching a physical resource to deal 3 damage to an enemy, then attack for 3. So total of 6, down to 12. Then thwart for 3. Savage attack, deal 5 damage to an enemy. Down to 7. Bring in Spider Girl and attack for 2. Down to 5. And end her turn. All right, keeping both of those, drawing 3 more. Energy, a backflip, and genius. And over here, bug, endurance, power of aggression, behind enemy lines, and some strength. 2 threat. The Sleeper awakened. Scheme cannot leave play while the Sleeper is in play. When revealed, put the Sleeper into play engaged with the first player. When the Sleeper is defeated, remove this card from the game. So the Sleeper, Scheme of 1, attack of 3, health of 10, guard, retaliate 1, and toughness. So when revealed, he's engaging the first player. All right, so Red Skull's activating. We're going to draw a card. So he's attacking for 1, 2, 3, gets an additional boost. And that gets discarded. So base 3, 4, 5. If this card resolves during an undefended attack, which it is, discard a support you control. Bummer. So I've got some damage coming away, but we're back flipping out of it. Discard a support. So that's Aunt May or the Quinn Carrier. Tough choice. We're at 9 health. We're going to send Aunt May to safety. Then that guy's attacking for 3. Nick defends. Then attacking over here, we draw a card. Run and gun. So base 3 coming at us. Spider Girl defends. 4 damage and out. And counter cards. Place 2 threat on each scheme in play. It gets 2 threat on it, but it doesn't matter. And then we've got a Hydra Flame Soldier, and we pass first player. All right, we're going to bring Bug in. And he's going to attack to get rid of Tough. Ooh, and let's go retaliate. Rethinking. Thwarting for 1. Attacking for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gets rid of this. We get to draw a card. Grasping Tendrils. Then Multi-Gun gets rid of Tough. We're going to Run and Gun to Ready Venom in each weapon upgrade we control. Then put 2 damage over here and attack for 5. And we get Retaliated on down to 7. Electra can attack for 3, which will defeat the sleeper, which gets rid of both of these from the game. Valkyrie attacks for 2, down to 3. And this side scheme was not really defeated, it was just removed from the game, so these aren't going to, well, that's not going to trigger. So Black Cat attacks for 2, down to 1. Spider-Man attacks for 2, no, thwarts for 2. Shang-Chi will go ahead and attack for 2. And that's going to flip to the next Red Skull. Scheme of 3, attack for 2. Still gets +1 for each side scheme. When revealed, deal each player an encounter card, which is going to get us an acceleration token. And he's got 40 health. And do some shuffling. And did I put any side schemes in here? So someone saying I probably did. Webbed Up doesn't belong in there. Nope, looks good. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. All right, just shuffling. All right, Wiccan's coming in. Thwart 1, attack 1, 3 health. After he thwarts, discard the top card of the encounter deck for each boost icon discarded this way. Deal a damage to an enemy. So thwarting for 1 and dealing 0 damage, because that's what he does for me. Then we're going to bring in arrows, no minions to confuse, and thwarting for 2. And ending her turn. Keeping our Spider Sense on this side. To another Spider Sense and a backflip, and for Justice and White Tiger. Keeping Strength. Got a Sidearm, Relentless Assault, Clobber, and Moon Knight. 3 threat. Shuffle these cards up. And Mass Chaos, so we're discarding the top 5 cards of our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 2 different resources there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 3 resources on this side. All right, attacking over here, drawing a card into a run and gun. Valkyrie's going to defend for a base 3, 4, 5. Attack over here, draw a card into Quake. Arrows defends for 4, 5, 6. And counter cards. Attach a Red Skull, gains Retaliate 1, hero action, spend 1 of each resource to get rid of it. Then he's going to scheme. And we're going to use the Quinn Carrier as a resource. Hero Interrupt, when a treachery card is revealed from the counter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. So the scheming's not happening. Surge and exhaust your identity. Worst things could happen. The surge is surge and reveal the top card. We've got an angry symbiote, something with quick strike, down to 7. And hey, he's got another right hook. All right, we're going to bring in Quake. 4-1, attack for 2 health. And come in and take out this enraged symbiote to get rid of the guard and patrol. Black Cat with a range. Is attacking for 2. Down to 38. Doesn't care about the double retaliate. Wiccan. Thwarting for 1. Get rid of that. And dealing 2 damage somewhere, which will be over here since it's dealing. All right, Lecter is going to attack for 3, down to 33. Venom is going to attack for a bunch to take this guy out, which is going to heal Bug. Then we're going to give Bug a sidearm so he's ranged and he can attack for 2, down to 31. We're going to bring in Moon Knight, thwarted 2, attack of 2, 3 health. After you're playing from your hand, spend a wild resource to draw 2 cards. We're going to take a damage for that. Drawing 2, power of aggression, and a piercing strike. Gets us an encounter card. Then thwart for 2 over there. And multi-gun to remove the other 2. Mass Chaos taken care of. We're going to run a gun to ready Venom in each weapon upgrade we control. Then thwart for 3. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. It's not an attack, so down to 29. Flip over, heal for 3. Oh, and I defeated an enemy earlier. Oh well. Up to 9. And ender turn. All right, we're going to keep both of those. So we've got Valkyrie, another power of aggression, savage attack, and Tigra. And over here, swinging web kick, clear the area. We kept White Tiger and enhanced Spidey Sense. Get another encounter card and shuffle. And we've got one more card coming, I believe. Web Shooter. All right, 3 threat. Censor the past. When defeated, each player chooses up to 3 cards in their discard pile to shuffle back into their deck. And 6 threat. Attack over here, draw a card. Quake is going to defend for 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're in hero form, the villain attacks you after this with no boosts. So it goes away. Initiates an attack again. Draw into Agent Coulson. Wiccan will defend. Was 4 damage coming. Then scheming over here for base 4, just 4, 5, 6. Then encounter cards. Another +1 attack. And the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. So we're going to draw another card. And Moon Knight defends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then a Hydra Soldier. And Hydra Regular with an Insight 1. And pass first player. All right, we're going to heal for 3. Up to 12. Flip over. Attack for 5. Take care of this guy. Gets us an encounter card. We'll draw a card into a Savage attack. Relentless Assault, 5 damage with Overkill. Soaks up 2. 3 breaks through down to 26. He was healed. Then he's going to attack for 2. 24, he's ranged. Then Savage attack, dealing 5 damage to an enemy. Down to 19. Retaliate on for 2, down to 10. We're going to take a damage for a resource for another Savage attack, dealing 5 damage. Down to 14. And take 2 damage from the Retaliate. Then Multi-Gun for 2, down to 12. It's going to be all for that. Black Cat's going to attack for 2, not worried about Retaliate. Spider-Man will attack for 2, down to 8. Takes him down to 5. And a giant swinging web kick for 8 damage to finish off the Red Skull. And we had White Tiger coming back in for free, and we could have got Coulson in with the Quinn Carrier if we needed. But that is Venom and Spider-Man taking on the Rise of the Red Skull. So as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.